we're back in action, and we are hitting October, which means snow is supposed to come this week. So hopefully everyone had a great summer, and here in Colorado, we're ready for winter. And it's an interesting times we have right now, because there's a lot of hot topics that everybody wants to talk about, and some people are uninformed about them, some people are super informed about them. And one thing that I think we should hit on, I've hit on it before, but talking about how guns and gun control and all these different things are something that we really need to pay attention to, because it's important that we know what we're supposed to have and what our rights are. And, you know, nowadays people want to forget history and they want to forge ahead with these modern progressive ideas to make the society better and everything. And sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. You know, they either don't care or they don't know things like the Bible and the founding documents that are still relevant today. They think those are old. These racist people wrote them and relating to the founding documents, and it's not true. They're still relevant today. That's why it's so important that we fight for them. You know, politicians running for the 2020 presidential campaign, a lot of them want to full out ban or confiscate your guns. They want to take them away. They would do all of them if they could, but they want to take them away. They want to do legislation and confiscate them. You know, self and private property protection is a God-given, unalienable right. We see this in nature. Animals always protect their young. How many of you guys, if you've ever been around like a bear with a cub, it will attack you, or a lion or something like that? In nature, animals protect what's theirs. If they have if a squirrel has like a little hole in a tree or something and you come around, you can hear that squirrel like making a whole bunch of noise. It's protecting its area. Birds will do this too. They'll protect their tree. I saw an owl in a tree in our backyard. Technically it's our neighbor's backyard, but it's a giant tree. And there was an owl sitting there, and these other birds were circling around and swooping down and bumping into him and stuff for a while. And after a while, that owl flew away, and those birds chased him. They were defending their property, their tree. That's their tree. Get out. And we have that as humans. We have the right from God to protect ourselves. And so people and governments do not have the power to take our right to protect ourselves away. It's not in their power. It's given by God. Now, the Second Amendment does not give citizens the right to bear arms, but it guarantees our government will protect the God-given right. It's important to realize that the founding documents are guaranteeing the government's going to protect certain things. It's not giving certain rights to people. It's promising to protect them. Our government is a republic limited by the Constitution. The Constitution does not limit the citizens, but the government. That's important to know. Like I've talked about before, how government officials call themselves our leaders. No, we're their leaders. They're our servants. They put out laws and legislation that the people think we need, you know? Think about right after the Revolutionary War, these Americans that are writing these documents, the Constitution, Bill of Rights, they have just used guns and other arms to ward off the English. And the amendment was originally created to give citizens the opportunity to fight back against a tyrannical federal government or outside invaders. And so far it's worked, right? Because we haven't had a lot of stuff happen on the mainland because there's so many people armed here. They would have to face the military, the police, and citizens. And that's the point. That's the goal, is so that every single person could be a soldier if necessary. And that's why we need to own weapons and know how to use them. Be trained in it. Go to classes and stuff. The founding documents was designed to keep government from treating people the way kings did for generations, and popes did too, where they just did whatever they want. You had no control, and if they didn't like what you did, or you didn't agree with them, they could kill you or punish you. This is where we as a nation could be very soon if we're not careful. If we let the government take so much power that they can do anything they want, we're in big trouble, especially if we let them take our weapons, our way to protect ourselves. Because that never goes well, ever, ever. As war technology increases, the ability to protect ourselves must also increase. So imagine going to war right now with swords. We would be annihilated, right? So you need the modern technology yourself. So when people go, you know, when the Second Amendment was written, it was written for the types of weapons they had those days, like muskets and long guns and those little pistols. That is true, it was written then, but the fathers knew that technology would advance and that they would need to keep themselves modernized with technology and know how to use it. Am I saying we all need a tank? Maybe. Why not have a tank? You know, we probably don't need a tank, but we do need weapons that we can defend our nation and our homes. That's what we need. So we must arm ourselves and be trained on modern technology. Not only protect our household, but our nation. If guns are confiscated, what happens if we're invaded? That's the point I want to make today. What happens if, some military operations, like overseas and stuff, have over 1 million man army? What happens if they decided to have like a Beach of Normandy type of thing where they just try to come over here and take over? And do we have enough military to handle that? I don't know. Maybe we do. Can we defend ourselves? We don't know what's going to happen in the next 50, 60, 80, 100 years. And if something terrible does happen and we're not able to defend ourselves, we could be taken into slavery. Who knows what could happen? We need to be protected, and we need to be armed, and we need to be ready for whatever may happen. So the United States has a lot of guns. There's 120.5 guns per 100 people. So that shows that a lot of people are purchasing multiple guns for multiple situations. You can't just have one. You need multiple guns for multiple different hunting situations or home defense situations. We need to be able to protect ourselves and the others around us also. That makes me think we should be looking around our neighborhoods regularly, listening, watching, seeing what's going on, and be there to help if necessary. True tyranny in the United States cannot come until the citizens are disarmed. That's so true. They can't take over unless we let them by disarming us. And even England, I think right now, is telling the United States, don't let it happen, because they have a lot of knife murders. The other day, there was 6 or 8 people died from a knife attack in a police station, I believe it was. I could be wrong on that, but you can look it up. Liberals will do anything deemed necessary to force gun confiscation, even if it's an inch by inch. They will call it gun buyback, and really it's forced confiscation. They'll make these little laws, ban this little thing, ban clips. It's all wrong. Limiting ammo purchases, longer wait times for purchases, and banning things like bump stocks and magazines. These are all infringements on our rights and illegal. And then when they go to do this, I say go online and buy them. Or buy them now before they get to it. If they talk about it, buy it now. There's some Muslim Sharia law that's already in effect in some counties in this country. So, these violent Muslims are looking for ways to infiltrate the United States government. And there's books about this where you can read where they'll act all friendly and everything, and they'll infiltrate government and start to enact their stuff. They'll act peaceful and infiltrate local governments and then implement their laws and their Sharia law. And we must watch and be vigilant, as the culture of the radical Muslims is of violence and destruction of those who do not convert to their system. So the radical Muslims are a smaller group. There's a lot of good Muslims out there. These people are fine, but it's the radicals that we want to watch out for. And it's out there. We got to be careful and just notice what's going on. Walmart lately has said they will stop carrying certain guns and ammo. And Walmart's the big dog. So if they can be pressured to do certain things, any business can be pressured. And I say we need to hold Walmart accountable and call the corporate office and let our voice be heard, and talk to managers when we're there and say, we don't agree with this, I feel like they've pulled back on their stance a little bit, but still, we as Americans need to make our voice heard when things are wrong, because really, we're never going closer to freedom. We're always, seems like we're going away from freedom. So we have to stand up. The truth is, where gun laws are the strongest, the gun crime is the highest. It's super true. We may not be able to stop all gun crime, but well-armed citizens can stop these events sooner. It takes cops quite a while to get there. Kids used to bring guns to school. People used to have a fear and respect for God, which is a huge point. It's not the gun, it's not the knife, it's not the baseball bat. It's the condition in the heart of man. That's the real problem. Men have evil hearts. And whatever causes them to get evil is what causes them to murder. Whatever hate happened, whatever things have not dealt with as children, that's what caused them to commit these crimes. They get angry at someone, they get brokenhearted, they don't deal with their emotions properly. It's never about the weapon, because anything could be a weapon. More people die from car crashes than firearms. I've got a list here that you can look this up and find it out, and it says that number one death in the United States is heart disease. That's 25% of death in the United States is heart disease, followed by cancer, stroke, chronic lower respiratory disease, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and way down at number 12 is firearms. 1.3% of deaths in the United States is firearms. So, a lot of disease and stuff can come from negative thinking and stress. And we have a healthcare system that treats symptoms, but not the root of the problem. And here we're trying to treat the symptom of guns, but we're not treating the root, which is people. People that want or choose or get angry and they want to commit a crime. That's what we're after, and that's what we have to stop. So I say be armed, arm yourself, be ready, have plenty of ammo and a variety of weapons, know how to use them, but use them within the law. Use them respectably. Even the founders had gun control, and it was if you intend to do something wrong with this weapon, to rob or something like that, that's illegal. But you can have a weapon and have it out anytime. We expect you to do it because there's a lot of bandits and bears and different things like that. So take that and make sure you take some steps. Go to a gun store and talk to them. Handle them. Shoot them. There's a lot of gun ranges where you can do this. It's important that we do this and we teach our children that this is a pillar that keeps our freedom. And it's super important. So I hope this was good for you. It was good for me. So thank you very much.